Hi, welcome to today's class. This is going to be a roughly 30 minutes full body flow themed around the element of air. So this is the third in our elemental practice sequence. And with the element of air, I'm thinking particularly obviously about our breath and how our breath can empower movement, but also lots of poses today that really focus on opening up the throat, the shoulders, and the upper back and the thoracic spine, as well as a few little standing poses and lots of twists. So it's a really fun full body class, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. We're actually just going to start seated. So bringing yourself into a comfortable seat, just thinking about your contact points with the mat or the surface beneath you, and thinking about any little wiggles or movements that you need to make, maybe rocking backwards and forwards on your pelvis or shifting side to side, or even getting a blanket or a cushion to lift your hips a little bit so that you can just be, let's say, 5% more comfortable. So if you notice you're holding yourself very rigidly, is there a way that you could maybe just relax your hips, relax your belly, relax your shoulders back and down, relax your jaw? And your hands can be anywhere. They could rest on your knees, they could be in your lap. Whatever feels comfortable for you and gives you a nice gentle opening across the chest. And let's start just by taking one breath together, in through the mouth and out through the mouth. And you might want to let that exhale be a bit of a sigh. Now let's breathe in through the nose, but out through the mouth. Noticing your body relax a bit with the exhale. Now in through the nose, and if you're able, out through the nose. And then just come back to your normal breath, but just see which of those options felt like the most comfortable for you. Are you able to breathe through this practice just through your nose, or maybe in through your nose and out through your mouth? And noticing the quality of your breath as well at the start of our practice. Does it feel like it's just coming into the top of the chest? Are you able to expand through your rib cage a little bit, or even into your abdomen, but without forcing anything? So not trying to radically change your breath, just be aware of how your breath is feeling today. Let's start by staggering the right leg slightly in front of the left, just so that they're sort of parallel and stacked. And just see if you can rock your spine a little bit so that you can find the point where your pelvis is in neutral and your spine is building on top of your pelvis. Feel like the back of your neck is nice and long. Maybe the chin wants to tilt down a little bit for that. Top of the head is drawing up towards the ceiling or towards the sky if you're practicing outdoors. Let's bring the fingertips out to the side. And on an inhale, just starting to lift the arms up towards the ceiling, bringing the fingertips to touch. And exhale, drawing them back down again. Let's take that twice more, breathing in and exhaling. Just feeling into the muscles of the upper back, the shoulders, the points of contact with the neck and the spine. Let's bring the arms up again, and this time maybe you can tilt your head back to look up towards those fingertips. And exhale, looking forward as you bring the arms down. Let's take that once more, lifting up, looking up. Exhale, back to the front. Okay, let's bring the fingertips up, looking up. This time we're going to come into a twist, so turning to the right. Left hand comes to your right knee, right fingertips behind you. Find a straight spine first, and then just see what a natural twist through your upper back and shoulders feels like. Hips are relaxed. Taking an inhale and an exhale. Let's come back to center. Arms rise, looking up towards the fingertips. Exhale, let's go to twist to the left this time. Right hand on the left knee, left hand behind. How is your spine feeling? One breath here. Coming back to center. Okay, lifting the hands, looking up, twisting to the right again. One breath here. And now start to bring the left shoulder towards the left knee, right arm up and over, little side bend. Just seeing how that top arm feels and the side of the body. Taking a big breath, stretching out all the way from the right hip to the right fingertips. And now pivot towards that left knee. Bring both arms out, stretching out a little bit over that left knee. Walking the fingertips out, keeping your hips planted down on the mat. Feeling like a nice strong spine. A little bit of a stretch through the right side of the body. Walk the fingertips round so that you're facing to the front. Maybe you can go a little bit further here, keeping your hips nice and firm on the ground. One breath, and then walking the hands in, rolling the spine up nice and slowly. Coming back to center, let's change the cross of the legs. So the left shin is now in front of the right. Lifting the arms up towards the ceilings, fingertips come to touch. Coming now to the left, right hand on the left knee, left fingertips behind you, straight spine, and hold your twist for a breath. On your next inhale, bringing the right shoulder towards the right knee, left arms coming up and over, feeling into your side bend. Noticing if you're holding any tension or stiffness in your neck, can you just let it relax? Taking a breath here. And then pivoting towards that right knee. Walk the fingertips out. Feel that nice stretch all the way from the left hip, up the left side of the body, towards the left underarm, even all the way up the arm. Continuing to breathe nice and deeply. Walking the fingertips back to center. Maybe going a little bit lower. One breath here. And then slowly rolling the spine up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Coming back to a seat. Take one breath here. Noticing how your upper back, your shoulders, the front of your chest feel now. Let's come over onto all fours. And we just take a few rounds of cat-cow, hands underneath the shoulders, knees under the hips. So dropping the belly, lifting the chin, lifting the hips. Exhale, pressing the mat away from you, arching through the spine. Now, if you like, you can just continue to move in this straightforward cat-cow, but maybe you want to try something a little bit more circular. So on your inhale, maybe dropping the belly, but moving through a circle. Exhale, curving the spine as you complete that circle. Just feeling into something a little bit more organic. Like you're drawing a big circle with your hips and your head. Keeping your breath going. And maybe going the other way as well. Noticing any clunks and clicks in your shoulders, your spine, your hips. It's all very normal. Let's just take one more. And press yourself back into child's pose. Big toes together, knees as wide apart as you would like. Just stretching the arms forward, bring the head down to the mat. 3 breaths here. Gently letting the hips settle towards the heels. Just a slight stretch through the inside of the groin, the inside of the thighs. Letting the mat take your weight, letting tension melt away. Remember, we come to our mat to regulate, to engage our senses, to connect with our internal world, to feel better. We're not here for competition or performance or for getting it right. Let's come back up slowly onto all fours. Then we're going to stretch the right leg behind, just pressing back through the toes, through the calf. Just get a little bit of a calf stretch. And then we're going to pivot that foot so that it's flat onto the mat. And you can also turn your left foot so it's behind you like a little kickstand. We're shifting our weight onto our left knee, left hand, right arm, coming up towards the ceiling. Big side body stretch here in modified plank. You can bring the arm forward if you like, get a long stretch all the way from the toes to the fingertips. And maybe you want to take some big circles here as well, just moving through the shoulder joint. Trying to stay fairly still on your balancing side, just focusing this on the shoulder joint. Maybe through the shoulder blade. Now we're going to come back facing forward, bringing that knee in again, and we're going to bring the right arm looping underneath the left, bringing the right ear, right shoulder down to the mat so that you're in thread the needle, walking your left hand up to the top of the mat, maybe slightly into the middle of the mat, just so that you can turn your shoulders a little bit more to the left, keeping your hips fairly still over your knees if you can. Taking a big breath here into this upper body twist. Pressing that extended arm into the floor. Let's bring the left hand back down next to the face. Press into that hand to lift up. Open the right arm up to the ceiling. Just see if you've got a bit more space there. And then let's bring that right hand down next to the left. Let's repeat that on the other side. Left foot back behind you. Pressing through the toes, through the sole of the foot. Little calf stretch first of all. And then rolling to pivot so that foot is flat. Right leg can come beneath you like a kickstand. Left arm up towards the ceiling. Find your modified plank. Maybe a big stretch all the way from that foot to the tips of your fingers. And then maybe taking some big circles through that shoulder. Keeping the neck nice and relaxed. Relaxing through the jaw. Pivoting back forward, bringing that left knee in next to the right, and then bringing the left arm underneath. Left ear, left shoulder comes down to the mat. Right arm can walk up towards the top of the mat, coming in to thread the needle. Breathing deeply into your upper back. Bringing that right hand back by your face. Pressing into the mat to lift, to open the left arm to the side. Bringing it down to the mat. Let's walk the hands forward so they're just past your shoulders, spreading the fingertips nice and wide, shifting the weight to tuck the toes, pressing the hips back, down facing dog. And just take a few moments here just to move in any way that feels intuitive, walking out your down dog, paddling the feet, dropping the hips from side to side, bending and stretching, feeling into the legs, feeling into the low back. And then find your down dog, finding some stillness. Let's take 3 breaths here, in through the nose and out through the mouth with a big sigh. So inhale and exhale, letting it go. 2 more. Feeling the breath fill you. Feeling the exhale relax your body. Pressing firmly through the hands. Let's lift the right leg up towards the ceiling, keeping it straight. Inhale here, exhale, bringing the knee forward, stepping through, finding your high lunge. So back toes are on the mat, front toes facing forward, coming up with a nice bend through that right knee, roughly over the ankle, pointing towards the toes, maybe with a bend in the left knee as well, so that your hips can stay nice and balanced, shoulders over hips, bringing the arms up beside your ears, or maybe a little bit forwards if that feels like too much, keeping the ribs nicely knitted in. Drawing the shoulder blades down the back a little bit, gazing forward. Feeling this strong pose. Let's bring the arms down into cactus, like 90-degree angles, and just take an inhale here, maybe tilting back a little bit, drawing the shoulder blades together, stretching through the front of the throat. Take a big breath here. Feeling the different kind of breath, letting it go. Come back to your high lunge, arms are straight up. Bring the palms to touch, draw them down to the heart with an exhale. We're going to come into a twist. I'm going to give you a couple of options. You could place your left hand down on the mat, the right arm up into easy twist. Alternatively, you're going to bring your left elbow on top of the right knee, keeping the palms together, pressing the palms together so that you can look back over your shoulder in your prayer twist. Don't worry if you wobble. Take another breath. And then just see if you can stay in a twist, but drop that back knee down. So you're in low lunge with a twist. Maybe you can twist a little bit more. And now we're going to use our obliques to come up, still in your twist, opening your arms out to the side. So you're in an open twist. And on your next exhale, you can bring your right hand down to that extended leg, left arm up and over, exalted low lunge. Just looking wherever is comfortable for your neck. And let's windmill the arms down till your hands can reach the mat. Bringing right knee next to the left, shift the weight forward so that you're in plank. Slowly lowering down with control, elbows in. Exhale, little cobra, drawing the shoulder blades back. Exhale, child's pose or down facing dog. 3 breaths wherever you choose. So big inhale, releasing exhale. 2 more. Feeling the breath fill you. Noticing if your breath capacity is increased a little bit. If you're in child's pose, come up and join us in down dog. We're going to lift the left leg up towards the ceiling. Inhale, exhale, stepping forward. Find your high lunge. Take your time to find your proper alignment. Shoulders over hips, arms coming up. Taking a couple of breaths here. Let's draw the shoulders down into cactus arms, slightly tilting up, drawing the shoulder blades back. Inhale, feeling into the throat. Exhale, arm back to center. 1 more breath here in high lunge. And then draw the palms down to the heart. Take your twist of choice. Easy twist with a hand on the mat, or prayer twist, bringing the right elbow over the knee, looking back over your shoulder. Wobbling is normal. Try not to dig your toes into the mat. 1 more breath. Drop that back knee, releasing the toes if you'd like. Prayer twist in your low lunge. Maybe you can take the twist a little deeper. And then using your obliques. Coming up, facing to the left, open the arms, open twist here. Exhale, left arm comes down, right arm up and over, exalted low lunge. Nice side stretch. And next exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Left knee next to the right, shift the weight into plank, lower down. Cobra. Opening through the shoulders, through the throat. Exhale down. Child's pose or down dog, your choice. 3 breaths. Finding that release again.
This is our last few breaths in down dog. And whichever pose you were in, coming down to your knees or up to your knees, keeping your toes tucked, coming up to a kneeling stance here. We're just going to come into camel pose for a last little opening through the front of the throat. So I just want you to really squeeze your thighs together, bringing the adductors and the glutes online, and notice the way this brings a little bit more rigidity and strength into your pelvis. Bringing the hands to the low back. Your hands could be pointing up or pointing down, whichever way feels comfortable for you. We're just going to take an inhale, drawing up through the thighs and thinking about bringing the sternum to face up towards the ceiling, drawing the shoulders back. So this is an extension through the front of the body. So I'm not bringing it from the low back. The low back is staying fairly static. I'm opening up through the chest, through the throat. Take a breath here. Keep squeezing the thighs. Come back, release, maybe sit on the heels for a moment. Take a breath. Calming back up again. See if you can find that same sense of connection through the quads, through the glutes. Bring your hands to your low back if you'd like. This time you could bring them into prayer position. Take an inhale, exhale, drawing the shoulder blades back, sternum up towards the ceiling, keeping the hips over the knees. Head is dropping back a little bit. Big breath through the front of the throat. Exhale, come to a tall spine and then come back onto your heels. Bring one hand to rest inside the other. Maybe the thumbs are touching. Taking a few breaths and noticing how your breath is feeling now compared to when we started the practice. Maybe it's a little bit deeper. Maybe it's filling up your chest a little bit more. Let's slowly come down onto our backs. We'll just finish with a little laying spinal twist just to release through the low back. So coming down onto your back, maybe you want to draw the knees into the chest for a moment or guide them in some circles. And then let's bring the feet down to the mat. Bring the arms out to a T. You can just press your feet into the mat to lift your hips to the right, drawing the knees together. Let them fall over to the left. You might want to bring your left hand down to rest on top of that knee. Maybe you want to turn your head to look towards your extended hand. Relaxing and releasing through the hips, through the shoulders as much as possible. Letting go of tension. Feeling that fullness of your breath through your belly. Gently bringing the knees up towards the ceiling. Shifting the hips over to the left, lift the knees, take them over to the right. Maybe the right hand goes on top of that knee. Turning the head perhaps to look towards the left hand. Finding that ease in your body again, letting the mat take the weight of your body. Letting your hips relax, your belly get soft. Letting your shoulders be heavy on the ground. Deep breaths into your abdomen. Gently let that go. Bring the knees back up towards the ceiling.
Maybe you just want to widen your feet to the edges of the mat, let the knees fall in together, bringing the hands onto the abdomen. Maybe you want to take a full Shavasana, just stretching out, letting your legs and your arms fall open. Find a position that feels comfortable for you. And we'll just take those 3 deep releasing breaths again to finish our practice. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Letting the body become heavy. Taking a couple of minutes just to rest. Let the body sink into the floor. Not rushing to get up or carry on with your day. Noticing what has shifted and changed in your body, in your mind, your emotions. Noticing a slight increase of depth in your breath, perhaps. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I look forward to practicing with you again soon.